Good evening. This is Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting Group is a multinational headquartered group based out India, Singapore, and Hong Kong. More importantly, we do have offices in 3 parts of the globe, and apart from that, we own our own proprietary hedge fund. Now, by definition and by functioning, proprietary hedge fund means it is a fund which invest owns capital. It means it do not invest the third party capital. So, we take positions on our own capital. Yes, as a proprietary hedge fund, we follow the US pattern and we invest in FICC, fixed income currencies and commodities. We invest in crypto also. But like I said, our proprietary fund is closed, which means no third party can enter in this fund. That is something which everyone needs to learn, especially those who are messaging me almost every second day and asking for investments. Very simply. Apart from that, we operate our learning platform, which is Sheetal Academy, and our TRFX platform, which is our OTT platform, over the top TRFX Academy. Eventually, we are adding many platforms, and probably by June 2022, there are many new platforms are coming. But unlike Ola, Uber, Byju's, Swiggy, Zomato, Flipkart, Delivery, Lenskart, we are not a loss-making company. We are a 100% profitable company since inception, and with a $0, I repeat, $0 backing from any venture capitalist and private equity firm. This is Treasury Consulting Group, who dare to challenge anyone in this world. We are a Singapore headquartered group, and there is a very good saying in the books, which is that only the local knows how pathetic is the situation. And I completely agree with this because, example, if you are a local of US, you know how pathetic is the situation. Like I give you a very simplistic example now. Just before doing this call, I was making this video. I was on call with my friend in Texas, and he is based out Texas. He's a banker. You know that I'm an ex-corporate treasurer, so I have banking friends across the globe, and we usually talk once in a week on Skype. So when we were talking, he pointed out that the Delta variant situation in United States is seriously pathetic. And he was pointing towards the failed policies of Joe Biden. And he told me that, I asked him that I completely agree that Joe Biden is a complete failure as a president. There is hardly any doubt about that. In fact, that reflects in his approval ratings, which you can see on the Google, which is now less than 44%. It means less than 44% people believes that Joe Biden is doing the work which he's supposed to do, and 56% people believe no, he's not doing that work. Anyways, so during the chat, he told me, you just open the Google and check the child cases in United States during September. We were live, so I opened the Google and checked the live cases, and I got to know that since inception of the pandemic, officially December 2020, you can say, since inception of the pandemic, US recorded 6.6 million cases. 6.6 million cases, child cases covering corona. So I repeat, according to the article, and we have the copy of that article, 6.6 million child corona cases came since pandemic, which means 2020 and around 8 to 9 months of 2021. And you would be surprised to know 1/6, which is around 16%. 16% of these cases came only in September. So out of 6.6 million cases that came in September, only 1.1 million, which is precisely 1 by 6, 16% of the cases came in September, which proves that the local are having better understanding versus the people, those who are sitting at the far. But don't be ever push yourself to think that the institutions like Bloomberg and like that would share this information in the public domain. They keep sharing that everything is happening good. Now, this article is not speaking about the fatalities out of 1.1 million, since there is no information, so no comment of our side. Coming back to the point that we are a Singapore based firm and we know Singapore very well compared to what you see in the media. Now the situation of the Singapore is like that, that 2020 GDP is 340 billion US dollars. And the debt in the books of Singapore government, household debt is separate, forget that, we are not even talking about this. The debt in the books of Singapore government is 748 billion. Now when I say billion, I mean Singapore dollar, because we are talking about Singapore economy, so we use Singapore dollar as a benchmark. It is not US dollar, please note. So I will not repeat. So the GDP of Singapore government is 340 billion Singapore dollar, while the debt of Singapore government is in the Q2 748 billion. So I got the number and I have the link of that number also. In Q1 2021, which means January, February and March, the total debt is 728 billion, while in Q2 the total debt is 744 billion. Statistically speaking, the debt of the Singapore government grew by 2.3%. It means third quarter is just done. In the third quarter, Singapore achieved another benchmark, which is 1 quarter earlier. So actually GDP growth is computed in two ways. One is the stupidity and one is the realistic. Don't use the word stupidity, rather one is to fool people and one is the realistic way. So example, there are 4 quarters in a year: Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. The right way of comparing the GDP is quarter on quarter, which means in the first quarter, whatever GDP you came with, you compare with the fourth quarter of the last year. In the second quarter, you compare with the first quarter of current year. This is how the right way of comparing the GDP, which is also known as sequential growth, which means in sequence. I hope you have saw that IT companies, banks, they declared their results across the globe. It's not about India, across the globe. And whenever they declare result, they declare two numbers. This quarter revenue is $100. On a sequential note, it is a 6% growth, while on a Y-on-Y growth, it is 10% growth. Now, person is clear on either side that on a sequentially basis, you are growing by 6%, but on a yearly basis, you are growing by 10%. So in a quarter third, on a yearly basis, which means the quarter third of 2020, Singapore economy grew by 6.5%. Now, when I say 6.5%, it means annualized. 6.5% divided by 4, which means around 1.5%. In the Q2, which is 1 quarter before that, it grew 15%, which means the growth of Singapore GDP in a 1 quarter declined more than 50%. But the fake, sold, and corrupt media is not going to share this except us. Another interesting thing which is happening about Singapore and which is really very, very important, which everyone should know. 1 in 4 Singaporean laid off jobs amidst the pandemic. It means due to this pandemic, 1 in 4 Singaporean laid off the jobs. They lost their jobs. Now, Singapore fiscal deficit for the year 2020 is around 75 billion Sing dollar, and this year it is expected 12 billion. So the government is in fiscal deficit. Very recently, which means September 2021, Panasonic retrenched 700 Singaporeans since they are closing their manufacturing operations. Now, this is the performance of the Singapore government. Last year, Singapore issued the digital bank license, and the licenses are given to the companies who are Grab and Singtel. Grab is a loss-making company. How come they got the license? You know, it is very easy. They must have given a proposition to MAS. Accept the money you want and give us the license. I'm telling in public. Because a loss-making company, Grab, got the license. And the only way of getting license is the money. Because being a loss-making company, credentials are nothing. You just open the Google and see how much loss Grab is incurring every quarter. And irrespective of that, they got the license. Anyways, C Group. Check the performance of C Group on the Google. You yourself get to know. Ant Group. And Chinese real estate developer Greenland Financial Holding. Chinese real estate developer. So I name it. Monetary Authority of Singapore has granted the digital bank licenses to 4 recipients. The Grab Singtel Consortium, C Group, Ant Group, and consortium led by Chinese real estate developer. We know what had happened, in fact, going on with Evergrande. Another Chinese top real estate player, Finticia, is reduced to default. Right? This is what it is actually happening in the Singapore. Even a 10th fail person knew this is not possible until otherwise give and take proportion is on the board. And I challenged Ravi Menon, who is a MAS managing director. If he think that this is not the possibility, then tell me one thing. How come Grab and Chinese real estate developer got the license? And don't be happy with the performance of C Group also. The only satisfactory person according to me in the 4 is the Ant Group. This is what happening. In Singapore, the digital currency project is completely failed. The debt is 748 billion. GDP is 340 billion, which means debt to GDP ratio is more than 200%. Job losses in Singapore is extremely heavy. Thousands of startups got closed, and now the crypto. So I tell you a story. In 2019-20, Singapore boasts to be a crypto platform. Rather, people used to say that Singapore is a ecosystem of crypto. People used to say this except me. And today the scenario is that thousands of cryptocurrency startups got closed. And you know what is happening with the Binance. So let me show you what is happening with the Binance. I just need to open my computer. Binance to stop Singapore using buying or trading crypto, right? Binance, this is what the article on Reuters, which is saying that Binance, one of the world's largest crypto exchanges, said on Monday, 27th September, that users in Singapore would no longer be allowed to buy or trade cryptocurrency on its main platform. The Monetary Authority of Singapore this month warned Binance that it could breach the local laws. Go to hell, Monetary Authority of Singapore. Because how dare you give the digital banking license to a loss-making companies? Can I ask one question from Monetary Authority of Singapore? Which is that Binance, how come, forget Binance for a while, how come Grab is a going concern? Now I open the Google and I just say Grab Singapore losses. It's very easy. Do you know, guys, in quarter 2 2021, Grab lost $1 billion. $1 billion is being lost by Grab only in one quarter. Now, can you even believe this company is a going concern? Binance is idiot. Binance should approach to the court and challenge Monetary Authority of Singapore and take Ravi Menon in the court. The country whose debt is 748 billion. GDP size is less than 50% of that. Thousands of startups closed in that country. One in four Singaporean is lost the job. Crypto is losing very fast, and another mess, the country is in fiscal deficit, and you would be happy to know that the another mess which is happening in the Singapore, which is every possible day 3,500 cases are coming in Singapore, at least between very closer to 3,000 cases are coming. Being a Singapore based company, 3,000 cases at a small place means 100,000 cases in a month. 100,000 cases in a month means another 2 months from now, Singapore would be locked down. Because it's a small place. Being a small place, if 3,000 people are getting contracted on an everyday basis, it means how long it will take for Singapore to close the economy. Hardly less than 2 months. And you would be surprised to know that the credit rating agencies, which is Standard & Poor, Moody and ICRA, I have hardly seen they are talking the real issues of Singapore. And the hell is they have not cut the credit rating of the Singapore government. Today, time has come when Singapore credit rating should cut from AAA to A by 2 notches. GDP growing, GDP declining, debt rising, startup closures, crypto closures, project failures, the government fiscal deficit, huge losses of the jobs, currency, there are so many factors. Singapore as of now don't deserve to be a AAA rated country. I don't think so. Probably 2 years from now, maximum you can say. 2 years from now, or probably I would say, yes, you can say 2 years from now, Singapore would cross 1 trillion of debt and they need to pay this debt. So don't think that the government or Prime Minister Lee can run away from that. By the way, Singapore is facing political uncertainty also. That is also a fact. Considering that, I don't think that Singapore is a place for investment anymore. Singapore as a country lost the appetite to be an innovative place. Lee Kuan Yew legacy is completely wiped out by Prime Minister Lee. There is hardly any doubt about that. Monetary Authority of Singapore failed on a very often basis, and the recent failure is the digital banking licenses. Job losses by banks in Singapore is apparent and live on the Google. Government is moving towards 1 trillion of debt in local currency, which is a huge amount. More than 3,000 corona cases every possible day, which means 2 months from now, Singapore would be locked down. This quarter GDP is 50% lesser than the last quarter GDP. Keeping that as a holistic outlook, credit rating agencies should cut the credit rating by 2 notches. Yes, if they have taken something give and take, they will never do. Because in 2020 also, even till the last day of the Lehman default, they were silent. Infrastructure leasing and financial services, PMC Bank, Yes Bank, Evergrande, there are hell lot of examples where these credit rating firms were silent till the last day of the default. Rest is history. This is Rahul from Treasury Consulting Group. Mr. Ravi Menon, you might be needing my number. My number is +91 9899 242 978. By the way, during this Singapore FinTech Festival, are you showing that how many startups closed in the last 1 year? You should show that because that is very important. But if you're not going to show this, I will show this. Please be rest assured, Mr. Ravi Menon. Thanks to MAS for doing a wonderful job, which we would be highlighting on social media. This is Rahul Magan from Treasury Consulting Group. Have a great time ahead. Thank you.